So yeah, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and ditch the 2JZ, you know, for this guy right there.
We make the strings louder.
Alright, so we're out mobbing the Saab today. What are you buying?
I'm buying a two-tone coupe.
Why?
Because it's dope. I don't know, it's good.
What are you going to do with it?
I haven't decided yet. I'm going to figure that out later. I'm going to figure it out later. I'm going to do the old Jameson on them.
What's that?
Freaking buy it and then figure it out.
Buy it, figure it out.
Buy it, flip it, and sell it.
He decided he wanted like a 240 to actually drive. This is Jesse 1JZ. The video that I did on his, that's his stupid car. But yeah, we want something to drive around. So we're buying this two-tone coupe. What's all done to it?
It's got a 5-lug, COS 2-way, KTS coilovers. It's heads-up display, dual cam, 5-speed.
So it's an 89, but it's got a dual cam swept in. Are you gonna drift this turn on the way back?
I don't know if I want to do that. It's a freaking seat. The seat. He said the seat's not bolted into it.
Well, that's fine.
So I like roll my ass over inside of it.
That's fine. Huh.
We'll have to see how it drives first. We'll do the old inspection. The old inspection on it.
How long has it been sitting? This first start in a year?
No, I fired it up the day he was hitting me up about it.
Oh, it doesn't like the battery connector.
Here, I'll hold it.
So, yes, we're up against it.
Is it not down or what?
No, I'm waiting. He's grabbing gas. Huh?
Go ahead.
Hold him. Cable.
What? Alright. Hey! Yeah, I think we need to tighten it. We need to tighten it.
I think I need a crescent or something to tighten the down in the air.
Alright, so here's the coupe.
the
It wouldn't start for Jesse, but it started right up for me. I don't know what I did to it. But it's got a little bit of exhaust leak. I mean, the son of a bitch is just slammed on its own shit in the muffler. Look at that. Things like dragging on the ground. Back bumper needs a little bit of paint. It's got some OG Drift Colorado stickers on it. Passenger seat. It's got a mouse nest in here somewhere. I think there's actually a mouse nest in the glove box. He said, oh shit. Holy shit. Man, there's like a pound of shit in there. That's gross. Dude, there's a pound of shit in the glove box. Yeah. Like a pound of it. Like a whole pound. Tight it, dude. He's bought himself a new 240 and he's excited. Alright, so we're just taking off of the side of the road. His fenders were flying off and it's got like a little coolant leak underneath it. You can see that some of it's like drives sideways. I mean, I know it's 240, it's supposed to drift, but I don't think they're supposed to like drive like that. But yeah, so back on the highway. spark action. He picked probably the best road that he could have. Need some more sparks, bud.
If he goes left, it's gonna be a shit ton.
Oh, he's gonna go left. Is he? Yeah.
Hey, is there like some back way I can take?
No?
I think the boulevard will be okay?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Yeah?
You're the one who's driving the son of a bitch.
I guess we'll just do that.
Yeah. I would have probably just stayed.
Alright.
I would have probably just stayed on I-25 and then got off it.
That fucking shit was doing that thing again.
Oh, okay.
And it was fucking up pretty hard, so I was like, fuck this, I'm out.
All right.
We can kill it pretty bad too, that stupid thing, so
It's not getting hot though, is it?
it's not hot.
Yeah. I'd go ahead and probably jump over. Whenever you.
Huh?
Like in front of me or some shit. I don't know. Bar'll do. So yeah, I just got done painting. This is a fender from my dad's truck. He kind of slid into, well, it was icy. Slid into a stop sign and just kind of decided to fix it ourselves. But yeah, turned out pretty good. At first it was looking kind of blotchy. You know, metallics are kind of a pain in the ass because they're kind of transparent if you lay them down the wrong way. But I ended up changing some settings and stuff on the gun. There's a few little, you know, dirt specks and stuff in there, but nothing little, you know, nibbing and cutting and buffing won't fix and make it look pretty cherry. So he should be pretty excited to get that thing back on the truck. So. Alright, so this is the fender from my dad's truck. Just kind of messed with the alignment on it, but it turned out pretty good. You know, it's that blue color or whatever. But this is the other fender right there. It's been on there for a little over a year or something. He hit a stop sign with it, and then finally I finally decided to paint it, or you know, paint this other one. So, but once it's actually bolted on there and stuff, bring it down to the shop and nib some of the little dirt and stuff out of it. But paint seems like it matches pretty good, you know. Once it's all you know, polished and stuff, the rest of the truck and waxed, I think you won't really be able to tell the difference, and it's a hell of a lot better than the other thing. This is the old garage where I used to get all my shit done back before I got the shop. I mean, shit, everything I did was right here in this bay. You know, he's got this Taurus here. He's doing some, I think a front cover or something like that. But there's all my, still got a bunch of shit over there on the shelves. Old toolbox and shit. This is his Goldwing. Did some hydrographics on the, like a gold carbon fiber on this thing. I just finished that up if you guys were on my Snapchat. But, man, he rides the shit out of this thing. He's got like 100-some thousand miles on it. But yeah, and this truck we just upgraded the front steering on it. It had some death wobble. You know, it's got a 6-inch lift on it. It's dirty as shit. He hasn't washed it in forever. Pretty much been sitting. He you know, was kind of upset about the whole death wobble situation. Where the hell are the tires? Oh, right there. It's got some 37s, 37, 1350, 18s, and it's had this thing since it was brand new, and pretty much lifted it like the day that he brought it home. So it definitely looks funny without these without the other wheels and tires on it. But as soon as get this whole death wobble issue figured out, then he's gonna throw them back on. So I decided to mess with the 2J a little bit. I went ahead and yanked off the whole clutch setup because I need to do some Loctite on the on the bolts right there. Some red thread lock or whatever, so it'll never come off again. But so right here, the issue that you have when you run excessive motor mounts with the factory twin turbos is this rear turbo drain right there. See, I got some bolts in there and I got it kind of cinched down on it. But if you look, hopefully you'll be able to see. Let me see if I can be able to portray this on camera. As long as I can zoom in right there. Not getting too wiggly. Okay. So let's see. Oh, is that the top? Okay, so see that gap right there? That's the issue. And when it's kind of tightening down, kind of rubs on that. So you can see where I kind of wrote on it with a marker, kind of the area that I'm gonna grind out or cut out or do something with. But so I'm gonna mess with that. All right, so I got it in there. I got it sitting flush. Can't really see, I guess. You can see the little contour I put in there. I'll pull it off and show you. So yeah, here's the little spot that I got all grinded out. You can see how it's all thin right there. Yeah, seems like it fits decent. There's enough strength there that I'm not going to worry about doing anything else. At least there's something there. It's got that pretty good little brace right there that'll support most of the engine and stuff. But had me a little fire there. All these sparks and shit. So always make sure to check your surroundings before you know, I guess pack up. Because I was over there bolting it on and I smelled some smoke. I was like, holy shit. So yeah, I went ahead and I got transmission bolted up again to it. Well, I got the clutch and everything all installed. I got the you know, red Loctite on everything that needed it. Torqued everything down. Got the tranny bolted to it. Got the mounts on it, and it looks good so far. Basically, just waiting on the rubber isolators. Those are supposed to come with the kit initially, but haven't received them yet. I'm just kind of waiting on those. Been emailing back and forth. But yeah, so those should be here shortly, I hope, and then should be able to at least get this thing test fitted in there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with the ECU because this whole wiring harness is real short. You know, it doesn't root up into the cab. Normally, it's just in the engine base. So I don't know. Maybe I might get like the box out of an IS300 or something. There's actually one at the junkyard, so maybe I'll get that and just leave the ECU actually in the engine bay, so I don't have to you know, mess with a whole bunch of shit trying to get it routed over into the engine compartment and, you know, above the turbos and stuff like that when there's not a whole lot of room. So maybe I'll see about doing that. So yeah, I just got pulled the subframe out of the storage. I got a couple of these things laying around. I always pick them up when I can, or, you know, car that I scrap or something like that. But so anyhow, the steering rack in here, I relocated it. Stupid hood is a pain in the ass. Anyhow, the steering rack, when I relocated it in here, and it's basically kind of crooked. And I relocated it and did the LS pan, so I cut it, you know, too many times, and it's just, I didn't like the way it is. But the 2J, you don't have to modify it. So I got my motor mounts or whatever, just a solid piece of aluminum. But I'm just gonna go and clean up this subframe and then move the rack forward about an inch, and then probably put this subframe in the car, and then probably get that thing sitting in there. I'm not sure when that'll be though. But if I had, I lost my little tripod mount for my iPhone, so I can't do time lapses, or else I'd do like a time lapse of like cleaning this thing, like welding it and cutting it and all that shit. So, but see, I'm just getting ready to run over to the car wash. Got these things kind of sprayed down with some degreaser, kind of scuffed thanks to Betty Crocker brush. But yeah, so I'm gonna load them up in the Saab in a bag and take them to the car wash, pressure wash them real quick, come back and hopefully cut them up. And you can see all the dirt. This is on the one that wasn't that bad. The other one was just crazy how caked on it was. Alright, so this is I guess kind of my practice one, kind of figuring out some stuff. You can see I got some bigger gaps in there than I'd like, but yeah, so I got everything pretty much fitted how it's gonna be. You can see the line lines up pretty straight. Tighten down, but yeah, everything lines up pretty good on the bottom as well. Pretty much just butts right up to itself on there. So I'm just going to grab the little flapper disc, kind of clean up the whole area and get it ready for welding. Throw a few tacks and stuff on it, and but yeah, you could see how it comes apart. You know, cut on the bottom, cut on the top, and then this guy just kind of slides in there. But yeah, when I was initially doing it, I cut that down, slice in it. You know, being stupid, I guess, but. Then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, oh, well, what do I actually need to do to do this? And then I thought about it, and then kind of reattacked it. So I just pretty much wanted the easiest thing to weld, so I just tried to do it as square as possible. But I got the head cam charging right now, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little how-to. Alright guys, so should be able to see this decent, but so basically what I just did is relocated the rack, and I was gonna do kind of a how-to video on it, but I kind of decided I wanted to, put this one in the car and make sure that's exactly where I wanted it, before I do another one. But essentially what I did is cut out the holes, and here's about you can see right there, about that's a piece that I cut out. So it's about 3/4 of an inch. There's like an article this guy wrote it. It's Technic Slide. I'll put a link in the description. It kind of gives you guys a little idea of like angle kits and shit like that. He goes into depth on some other stuff, and he has some other articles on his website actually explaining like Ackerman and all that stuff. So I'll put a link in there, but yeah. So eventually I might, well, maybe I might not do a how-to video, but I'll do a kind of a thing explaining angle and stuff like that. But I guess I could do something real quick. I'll show you guys like what the reason behind like relocating like a steering rack is. Let me go grab these guys real quick. So, we got these tie rods here, and we have these two steering racks. Get this steering. So, here's the. I'll just pop that guy off. So right here. In this guy, this one's pretty much just sitting in there. See how close that is? But so yeah, with this right here, basically when you I'll try to explain this a little bit better. So basically when you you know, shorten the knuckles on your steering arm, you have something, you know, with like a pivot point like this. So, you know, we'll say that it takes this much effort to turn the wheel. This is a factory. So if you have factory bolt hole over here versus right here, where's it down? Okay. So here's the point. Here's, let's say, a modded knuckle, and here is your factory tie rod pickup point or whatever. You know, that's kind of excessive, but so it'll help explain though. So when you're steering, and it takes this much effort, you know, to get that steering angle way out there, and your rack only moves so far. You know, it'll only go, you know, way out to here. So that's essentially as far as it'll go. So, you know, factory angle will kind of look like that somewhere in there, you know. But let's say you push this guy right there with that factory angle. Now look at that. So it's the same length right here versus, but look how much more angle it does, you know. So like right here, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's kind of my quick little explanation on that. But when you do that, so you take the rack from normally being out here, you know, and it kind of go in this tension rod's kind of tight, but so a lot of times, you know, it kind of has this weird angle on it. So, and when it goes into that, or when it does, it'll over center, and it'll just get a shitty steering angle, and it'll feel shitty. But it'll feel shitty, it'll bind, it'll do a bunch of other stuff. But this, so you want to keep this thing as straight as possible throughout as many motions as possible, and you can't get it perfect, but that's essentially what you want to do when you're doing the rack. Is so you move this forward. Since you moved that forward, now that this thing isn't, you know, like way back here and angled all stupid. So I mean, now it'll have an angle on it like that or something, or be close to straight, whereas previously it would have been like that, you know, and it had a lot more. And then when the steering rack is fully extended, and I believe when it actually does it is when it's coming like this, because then it'll like bind and do some other shit. I'll have to look at it, but essentially that's the reasoning behind doing the steering rack relocation. So I'm gonna, you know, make sure to put this one in the car, see how I like it, see if that's actually the placement that I want, or if I want to go further, or, you know, and then that's just a spare one anyhow. I didn't have any plans with it, but now that I actually know how to do it, and it wasn't as complicated as the other one that I made. Essentially the other one I made because I moved it forward, as well as basically chopped this whole section out for the LS because of the oil pan. On the JZ you don't have to do that because the oil pan fits in the factory cross member really nice. So that is that's why that is. But yeah. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now, well, I'm gonna pull this son of a bitch out, and then what? Factory car. Except for a blown out strut. Anyhow, yeah, so pulling this guy out, and I'm gonna go ahead and move this guy over to the lift, kind of in the zone where it's time to do some shit. I'm gonna install this guy. Then I got my my mounts. I think I already said that, but finally I could set it in there and test fit it and see how shitty this is gonna be. See how far that's gonna sit back. See, you know, where everything's gonna line up in the engine bay. figure out, you know, what I'm going to do with the wiring harness, and you know, then basically just figure out what I need to order as far as, you know, radiator, what I'm going to do with that, see how much room I have, you know, order an intake little thing, because this mass airflow sensor just like bolts in a pipe, so I gotta get one of those. And you know, there's a bunch of random other little shit, like figure out the drive shaft. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, I guess, arranging some shit and moving all this crap out of the way, and trying to get this guy over there by myself. So yeah, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and ditch the 2JZ, you know, for this guy right there. But so I'm gonna move this guy, got some of the shit out of the way. I got a fresh coat of shelf paint on the subframe over there. But for those of you who've ever like tried to move one of these things like by yourselves with a welded diff, like it just doesn't happen. Like as soon as you turn it, just like, you know, they're both moving, and then it's like you're, you know, doing a burnout for the car, and that's a pain in the ass. So pretty much this is how you have to move it. You gotta jack it up and just give her the old tug. Much of a pain in the ass as it is. A lot easier when you have a buddy here. But, you know, sometimes you gotta just do shit by your damn self. That seems like what it equates to around here most of the time, is me just doing it. Anyhow, heavy ass 240s. Welded diffs don't like to be pushed around a lot. You know, let's see if I could break these over fenders. Bastard. Holy shit. I thought that was gonna go smoother than it is, but there's like something in the way. That shouldn't affect it. I need that though. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I know what it is. The stupid thing I think is rubbing on the coilover. So it's okay to sit there and look at, but yep, that's what it is. So you gotta yank that guy off. Son of a bitch. Alright, so I got the old wheel and tire back on the front. What do you guys think? The RPF ones or the T37 like knockoff things? These are VAR Stones, and then I have, so they're all the same damn shit, though I have some Miros for the rear as well with the VAR Stones and all that crap. So I figure this would be a little bit easier now. So I hope it is. Holy shit. Alright, so I need to move this shit off of there so I can start putting this guy in there. Because nobody likes 2Js anymore. I read somewhere on the internet that it sucks, or that they suck, so Honda decided to hook me up with a little bit of reliability for this season. This hood is such a bag of shit. That's all I gotta say. I don't want to dick its ends though, because it's so delicate, you know. Where the other chunk I had of this went. Beautiful. Yeah, and so we'll just use this nitrous right here to spool the big ass turbo on that, and I think we'll be good to go. We'll make plenty of power. Kinda need to clean up the engine bay on this guy, holy shit. Neglect. It, yeah, I haven't really done much in as far as like maintenance department on this guy. Should probably clean the engine bay, but that means I can't get this guy in there tonight, you know. What's really going on here? That's what I'd like to know. But yeah, so anyhow, I got this thing sitting in there for a little test fit. You could see how many more inches I could actually go back, and that's just crazy, you know, to think like this compared to the 2J, where the 2J would have sat in here. I mean, the oil pan would have been way up here on the 2J. It would have probably been right here, the whole front of the motor and touching the back. Whereas this little Honda motor is just way, I mean, I still have plenty of room. I don't know where I haven't even looked at the shifter hole. Oh, it's, all I need to do is put it back a little bit further, but yeah, I think I need to figure out some different stuff for the cross member and the mounts. But yeah, she's going good so far. Look at all that room. All of the activities. There's plenty of it. I mean, imagine this thing with a turbo on it. These motors make, you know, easily, you know, 600 to 800 horsepower in their stock, basically block form with a turbo on them, which is ridiculous, as well as how lightweight and compact they are. You know, being a Honda and being compact and shit, and yeah, it's just crazy that how well this thing actually fits in here. You guys knew I wouldn't actually do that. So gotta yank it back out. I mean, yeah, I just thought it would be kind of interesting to see actually how it would fit in there. I was moving all this crap around anyhow. Alright, here she goes. No, so this is going to remain the engine for the S2000 over there. I just thought it was kind of funny. It actually fit in there like really, really nice. There's so much room to actually be able to do stuff if you wanted to. Now you're gonna leak coolant, huh? Uh-oh. I thought I had more clearance than that. So yeah, now I gotta move this thing around. Put it in a hibernating spot. Alright, so I got this guy up on the lift. So I gotta yank I gotta yank the rack out before I can do anything else. So I pop the wheels and tires off. That's it. What the hell up there? So I'm not sure if I should yank. What would be the easiest? And you can see, I don't know if you guys could see that it's actually crooked, but the rack is kind of sitting like that because, you know, because when I did it last time, it kind of like cut everything off and then welded it back on. So like this guy, the angle of that's all weird, and these ones are angled all, and then I had to cut this out because it was actually moved. But you could see like how this one, it's like kind of straight, and then this one, it's like kind of like cockeyed and shit. So definitely needs that definitely needs addressed. So now I'm just taking off the things for the tie rod ends. Trying to find some tools. Using a little hammer, trying to beat the tie rod ends off. You know, give them a little vibration. Little hammer didn't work, so I had to grab a big one. Taking out some of the subframe, or the bolts holding the steering rack on right now. And in a minute you'll see me beating the shit out of something with a hammer. And there I go, and looking for tools. But it's really dicked trying to get in that thing. I had to use a wall socket. And then what I'm going to be beating the hammer with is I stripped the threads out a long time ago on that thing. And I just drilled it out, you know, like big, you know, so there was no threads or not that many. And put a bolt through it, and then put a like a nut on the other end of it. So now what that's going to be doing in a second is giving me shit, and I think I beat it up some more. I don't know, but just pulling off the lower control arms. But yeah, thanks for watching these long ass videos. Let me know what you think of them actually being like over 40 minutes. You know, if that's something that you guys actually like, I'll try to do some more of it. Sometimes I just feel like people would love to watch them, but they just don't have the time to dedicate, you know, 49 or 50 minutes of their day to watching this random bullshit, you know. But if you do, that's awesome. And if you like them, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, and I'll keep doing it. If there's a lot of advertisements on this video, I'm sorry. I got to pay the bills somehow. You know, working on all my personal shit all the time. It doesn't really help in the bill department. But yeah. So that's you know, don't try not to skip them, and don't be using the ad block or do the YouTube Red. That gets rid of all the ads, and it actually like pays like people who you like watch like a certain percentage of like, you know, that like subscription fee. But yeah, thanks again for keeping up with these long ass ones. Alright, so we can see the angle of this guy already looks a shitload better, and it's actually flat and straight and where it should be. And I had this arm because I had the other one, the rack was moved forward and it was like at a different angle. So like this thing was at a different angle than that, so like it was like pitched forward. So that thing was like not binding, but the threads were barely on there. And it popped off when I was at CNS, which is a track that has a shitload of walls, so that's not good. But so yeah, this glad that's finally in. Now I could attempt to set this guy in there, or not, because I was gonna throw it away. Remember? Alright, so I got the F-22 mounted in here, you know, the little Honda motor, and that's about the end of where the tranny meets. You can see that there's the factory shift hole, and then there's the extended one, or this is the shortened one. Technically, if it was still on the 350Z, it would be probably right here is where it would actually be. So that's kind of shitty that it's so far back. I don't really like this mount. It's kind of cheesy looking. Looks like it wants to bend. But I haven't cut the hole up there for that to actually go through, so I can't actually put the rubber piece that goes in here on that. But I'm probably gonna end up making my own one of these. Those are excessive mounts. You can see how they kind of mount up right there. This one is slid all the way forward, so that's pretty much as far as the engine will go. This one's just kind of midway, but there's like 2 places where you could actually mount them on there. But yeah, seems like it sits in there pretty decent. I'm gonna get above and look at it. You can see my holes in the tranny now. Now I got some inspection plates. Once I get a TIG welder, I'll probably, you know, get up under here and make a plate to actually go across that, or maybe I'll do that here soon before I actually do too much driving with it, because I don't really want to get a bunch of dirt and crap in there. But yeah, so it seems like everything's fitting kind of alright so far. Definitely probably won't be able to hook up a heater core, you know, just because how tight it is up there. You can see how tight the turbos are up to the actual thing. But tranny fits in here decent. I already tested out the 370Z drive shaft, and it's probably 3 inches too short, so that sucks. But I'll figure something out for the drive shaft here soon. It's kind of why I wanted to just get this thing in here, you know, even with the factory turbos and all that stuff, just so I could kind of get it driving and stuff like that. Do a few little things, make sure the drive shaft, you know, get everything pretty much ready, and then later I'll just bolt a single turbo up on it. Well, I'll probably have to pull the engine out to do that, because holy shit, there ain't much room to yank any of this stuff off, but I might be able to get it off in the car. But yeah, so that's pretty much the 2J. I'll lower it down and show you guys. So yeah, there she is, sitting in there. You can see how tight it kind of is back up in there. Not super crazy. I can still stick my fingers down in there. I gotta figure out something for that heater hose right there. But factory Lexus, you know, they have like an ECU right here. I don't know if I'll actually even be able to make that work, just on account of, you know, I'm gonna have the power steering reservoir, which I could probably relocate to back up over here behind that. So I might do that, but definitely gonna have to do some shit with the ECU, because there's no way that wiring is gonna go, you know, all around the ECU and over or around the motor. And I know this wiring isn't gonna be the forever wiring, because I'm gonna do a standalone with you know, basically a full custom harness and everything with that eventually. So when I make the harness, or whoever makes the harness, it'll go back where it's supposed to. But right now, you can see how tight everything is over here, turbo elbows and stuff. And you could probably get a heater, some heater hoses on that if you really wanted to. But yeah, so basically just need to figure out exactly what I need to order, you know, radiator, intercooler, all that stuff. Figure out piping and you know, all them details. But yeah, that son of a bitch is long. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of these kind of videos. You know, as far as the light off. As far as like the whole like walking around with the, or doing, you know, I'm sure you guys like the time lapses and the and the other thing. But let me know what you think about the long ass videos. I'm not even sure what this one's going to be lengthwise. I had a couple clips that were like 30 plus minutes when I had the head cam on, so I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with those, but I'll figure it out tonight. It's Monday, 3 in the morning, so I still have to go home and edit this and upload it, and you know, figure out a bunch of stuff. I was just messing with you guys with the whole F22, you know, Honda motor, but I thought that would actually be pretty hilarious. I mean, it's just the weight difference between it and this is probably, you know, at least 100, 150, 200 pounds, somewhere in there, you know, and that's a lot of weight, especially whereas the Honda motor would almost sit, the valve cover would be about right there. So almost these 3, you know, 2.5 cylinders in the front are hanging off the front, as well as being cast iron versus aluminum with twin turbos and a bunch of heavy shit and a big old transmission and all that stuff. You know, the S2K motor, that thing would be light compared to this, and actually pretty powerful. You know, once you do the turbo kit and stuff on them, they make a shitload of power. I don't know if you guys have, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the crazy S2000s that make a shitload of power in the stock blocks. People make like 800 on them and daily drive them and do a bunch of crazy shit. So that would actually be pretty funny to do in here. I don't really think anybody's done it. I'm sure somebody's done it, but I just thought that would be kind of funny, and actually putting it in there, seeing how well it fit. You'd have to do a bunch of stuff with the oil pan on it, because the oil, basically, it kind of doesn't, it's just kind of flat across. It doesn't really have like a hump, you know, to let the cross members sit in between. But yeah, here's another S2K engine. Basically, if you guys have kind of kept up the Ties S2000 that's over there, you know, up underneath all the racks and stuff, he bought it, and it was turboed and blown up, and the motor and everything and turbo parts and stuff were already out of it, and most of the turbo stuff was already sold, but he bought it. But this engine right there, it has a dick cylinder, basically cracked a ringland and scored the shit out of the cylinder, and you can't really hone those because they have like this special coating on the inside of them, or you can't really bore them too far, so you have to have them sleeved. But that's an option. I mean, sleeving a S2K engine, you know, fully building it, forged internals and all that shit, have the head built, which, I mean, I guess from the factory they flow pretty awesome how they are, and a nice turbo kit, figure out the transmission that'll hold up to it. I'm not, you know, completely sure about the S2K 6 speeds, you know, how they hold up to the power, especially big power like that. But I'm sure somebody, you know, or there's a way you could probably get one of these 370Z trannies to adapt to it, and use a little bit of nitrous to spool the turbo, and shit, you'd be in business. But yeah, I guess that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Monday.